Morning. Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous out here right now. Look at that lawn. Did a video yesterday talking about that, but today I'm going to do a video series that is a little bit different, and it's going to be on automatic gate openers. Trust me, the last thing the internet needs is another video on how to install a ghost opener, ghost control gate opener. There are plenty of them out there. I'm not going to do a quote-unquote install video. I am going to show you some install tricks that will make your life easier. However, I'm going to go more into the technical side of it because this is where I struggle. For a past year, we've been talking about this, but I've been trying to find certain features, and to be honest, unless you do a deep dive into some of this stuff, it's really kind of hard to find those specialized features that you want. i.e., let me give you an example, automation. My back gate, my house is 1,000 feet away from my gates. My back gate, on Tuesday morning, I need that gate open at 6 a.m. because I have a dumpster and the truck comes in there. So I need that open, not closed. My front gate, I want my front gate to open up at 6 a.m. every morning, and at 8:15 every night, I want that gate to close. So can I do that? And the answer is yes, but I had to figure out how. The other thing that you're gonna deal with, a lot of people, if you have a farm gate, there's a good chance that it's far away from your Wi-Fi or your house. I'm gonna show you 3 or 4 different ways to extend that Wi-Fi system out to your house. Plus, I'm going to show you a really cool feature, which is a little $99 hotspot that creates its own internet right there at your gate. So you don't even have to worry about extending it. That's a great way to do it. I found it and it works. I'm testing it and it works great. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a crazy story, because for the past year we've been talking about these gates, and I said, okay, I don't have time to do it. I'm going to hire someone to do it. Surely I can find someone to hire. I can find someone to do it reasonable. Dude, let me tell you what, for 2 gates, I got a quote for $16,000 was the first quote I got. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. The total cost that I did, including everything you could possibly buy, all the automation, solar powered, smart connects, everything that you can do, I did both gates for about $2,400. So that's about $1,200 per gate. And I'll show you that whole system up there. The next thing I want to go into is there's always going to be ghost control haters. And I'm going to tell you this now, that no matter what gate, whether it's a mule, whether it's LiftMaster, you're always going to find people that find problems with it. I'm going to tell you why I chose ghost control. Number 1, it's reasonably priced. Number 2, it's manufactured in the USA. There are very few, if any others, that are manufactured actually in the United States. A lot of them are in Mexico. LiftMaster is in Mexico. A lot of them are in China. So for me, that does pin the needle a little bit when it comes to it. The next is customer service. A lot of people are going to say, oh, that's a do-it-yourself type gate. That's what I want. I, as a do-it-yourselfer, want to be able to call customer service and get some answers or tech support. And let me tell you what, every time I have called their tech support, I've been able to either talk to someone within a couple of minutes or just push the number 1 button and they'll do a callback, and 15 to 30 minutes later, you'll get a callback from their tech department, and they're US based, they're very knowledgeable. That's a huge difference. That is a huge difference. You don't understand if you have a problem. Plus, there's pretty good videos. Their video series on installation, everything kind of need to be updated, and hopefully their tech department will refer people to this video, because I'm going to go into some of the questions that I had that I really couldn't find. The other thing I'll talk about is I got not into an argument with their tech support, but I had a disagreement with them, and I had to call back twice and talk to a different person. It was probably some of it had to do with me and the way I explained the solar system that I have hooked up. And the second time I called, she said, no, you were right. She said, this is the way it needs to be hooked up. So I'll talk about that. And that's using a regular solar panel versus a trickle charger on your battery. I'm going to show you also, I'm going to show you better ways to spend your money on some of those items. As an example, they have a cheap 10-watt solar panel. I went up to a big 30-watt trickle charger. Battery systems, I got a 50 amp hour lithium battery. And man, let me tell you what, the sun could go away for a whole month and my gate will still open. So a bunch of different stuff like that. And I'll talk about the remotes. I can open everything on my phone. I can see exactly what's going on. I will link to everything that I'm buying on the page below. I'm going to create a website page and I'll try and keep it updated. And I'm going to link to all the ghost control items I bought. I'm going to link to the battery boxes, the batteries, solar panels, everything. So in the description, yes, they are affiliate links. I make a couple bucks off it, whatever. but that's how I buy it. I bought everything in this system myself. It is not a sponsored video. They didn't send me anything. I bought it. I paid for everything. So help me out and use an affiliate link. Here we go. Whew, okay, so I'm up here taking care of the chickens. Let me go over the installation story with you, because this is a little bit crazy. For about a year, we've been talking about getting gates up here. I have 2 entrances to my property. Both are 900 to 1,000 feet away from the house over here. So there were certain specifications I was kind of looking for. So I called up one company that wasn't too far away from me, and while I was on the phone with him, he said, well, I'm telling you, you're probably looking at about $8,000 per gate. And I went, what was that? He kept talking. I said, stop right there. I said, sorry, dude. I said, I'm just not. I said, they're farm gates. I said, I'm not paying $8,000 a gate. I appreciate your time, but that's just more than I want to spend. He said, no problem. So then I went to another company that was local to this area and explained to him what I was looking for. And he uses LiftMaster. So he quoted out the 2 gates. I got his quote in, and it was $9,000 for the 2 gates. So while he was doing that quote up, I was researching LiftMaster. I found out, number 1, they're made in Mexico, and number 2, there is another professional installer online that was talking about it and problems that they were having with their circuit boards. And so I did some more research on it, and I found a few other things going on with the circuit boards. Great product. They make a good product. It's a little bit higher end, supposedly. So I emailed the guy. The guy sent me back a quote, and he wanted $9,000 for both the gates. So I emailed him back and said, hey, so I was doing some research on LiftMaster, and there are some installers out there there are some people out there that are having problems with the boards. I said, do you offer any other product like Ghost Controls, or I forget the other couple names I put. I said, I'm just curious. So he emailed me back. This is a real email. Let's see if I can remember it, because I almost memorized it. He said, I've been installing gates for 12 years. He said, this is the first I've ever heard of it. We've replaced a lot of the Ghost Control systems. He said, apparently, he said, you don't want to take my professional installer opinion, and you'd rather rely on a Google search. He said, so why don't you go ahead and take your business elsewhere? I was like, dude, I read that email to about 2 or 3 people up here, and they were like, I said, how does this guy deal with his ego and stay in business? All he had to do was just email me back and say, no, we've never had any problems with them. And that's why we put a 1-year warranty on it in case you have any problems. Plus, they have a lifetime warranty. Well, that's the problem. Boom, and he would have gotten business. So, guess what? LiftMaster's out and installers are out. Holy crap, dude. So, by the way, if you want to get into good business, become a ghost control dealer and go out and install cheap real inexpensively. So understand, there's going to be haters and there's going to be negative stuff everywhere. It doesn't matter. Ghost Control, I would say, is probably the most popular gate system out there for stuff like farm gates. They have sold tens of thousands of units. They've been in business a long time. They're manufactured in the United States, and the warranty on it, there is a lifetime warranty on the motor and the gear system, and there is a 24-month warranty on the panel. When you talk to these professional installers, they're like, you'll end up replacing it after 2 years. And I'm like, dude, if I got to replace that control arm after warranty, I can replace that control arm for the next 20 years and still save thousands of dollars over what you're going to put in. And I'm not knocking the higher end systems, but it's a farm gate. That's all it is. It's a farm gate. And there's thousands and thousands of people. Remember, one upset customer will tell 10 other people. A happy customer will tell usually 1 or 2. So the bitching person usually gets the loudest, gets the loudest repeat. But dude, that was absolutely crazy. So that was the end. That's when I made my decision. Okay, I'm going to do this myself or have one of my guys install it. I ended up doing it myself because there are some real little issues that you need to understand and technical stuff that's really cool. All right, so this section is going to be about Wi-Fi and how do I extend my Wi-Fi. My house is down here. How do I extend Wi-Fi and have Wi-Fi 1,000 feet away from my gates? I also have it all around this property. Let me show you a couple different ways. First of all, I have a T-Mobile router up in my house, and on that I use the old Google Mesh pods. I know Google makes other ones, but these mesh pods that I'll link to them down below. You buy a set of 3 of them for like 150 bucks. Unfortunately, they're starting to discontinue them, I think, but they are great. Now they say they're not outdoor rated. I have them outdoor all the way around and they've worked just fine. But that Google mesh system is easy to install with Google Home. It just takes minutes to install it. There's no sales pitch, and that's one of the problems I find with a lot of these mesh systems is they constantly want to try and sell you security and all this other stuff, and they want to sell you customer support like after the 90-day period. So anyways, the Google mesh system is on my T-Mobile. Next, I have Starlink. I have a Starlink antenna here, and I have the router inside the barn, and I'm going to show you I have a Euro system. Now the Euro, I believe Amazon owns it now. I have the regular indoor pods down at the house. I have two Wi-Fi systems here, 2 internet and 2 Wi-Fis, because the T-Mobile only cost me 50 bucks a month, and the Starlink cost me 120 a month, and then we run Google TV on all that, and so it works out great. So I have the Starlink here, and I have a Euro outdoor. Now I'll warn you, these Euro outdoors are expensive. They're like high $300. And I have one here and I have one up here. They do okay. They're not a huge push. Matter of fact, the little cheap the Google mesh pods are probably almost as effective, but those are outdoor rated. So that's my second system. Now, if you have line of sight, what does that mean? If you don't have any trees, I'm going to show you a way that you can get Wi-Fi up to your gates, probably easy 800 to 1,000 feet, and that's what the new gosh, I forget the name of it. I'll put it up on the screen, but it's their new Wi-Fi 7 outdoor 4 antenna mesh system, or you can use it as a repeater. Okay, so the barn's back there, and you'll see I have another Euro outdoor sitting here facing this way, and let me show you what it connects into. I'll have to come up over here. Okay, so my Wi-Fi system is way down there at the barn. I have an outdoor Euro, and what I do is I have one of these WaveX, I forget the name of it, but it's the newest, supposedly the best one that they have. And so what we did was we trenched power. We trenched a 10-2 underground wire up here to have a power outlet. And you can see I got a 16-foot 4x4. And then on top of the 16-foot 4x4, I have another 2x4 that's holding up that long-range extender up there. You got it? So that can plug directly into your modem and be your Wi-Fi system. And there are plenty of videos online showing people connecting that 1,000 feet away, easily 1,000 feet away. Here's the problem with those. It's line of sight. When you start putting trees in between it, it dies out so quickly. So we had to jack that thing way up. And then my gate is probably about 60 yards over there. And what I did was I took the smart connector and I boosted it way up on a board. You'll see it here in a minute. So I boosted that up, and I finally got good signal over there. Now that thing can be used as a router. So if you have like a T-Mobile router, you can plug that into it, and now that'll become the main mesh, the main transmitter. However, you can also put it in repeater mode, and that's what I've done. So that is repeating off my Euros. So my Euro outdoors is hitting that, and that's repeating that signal over there. Gets a little complex, but now I'm going to show you a way that you don't have to do any of that and you have Wi-Fi at your gate. All right, so this is my back gate. That's where the dumpster is, and this is why I need that gate to open on a schedule. Every Tuesday morning, I need that gate to open at 6 a.m. so the dumpster people can come. But I'm about to show you a really cool way that you can get Wi-Fi anywhere out here. Now I'm dropping off. I got 9 dozen eggs to put in this egg box I built out here. And I put this egg box out here because I started closing this gate. Let me just show it to you. I'm going to do a video on winterizing, and I actually spray foamed this. So I spray foamed it, and then I put in wheat straw. And now I can put all my eggs in there and not worry about them getting hot or frozen. But let me show you this. So what I did, as I told you, the Smart Connect, or whatever you call it, the multi-connect, is way up high. Below that, I have a Reolink security camera. And then I have my solar panel here that goes into that big overpowered 50 amp hour battery into this. And I'll explain why I put this keypad not here and not outside here in a minute. There's my controller and a little teeny lock, which is easy to break off. This is what I'm talking about. So this right here is an all-in-one solar powered hotspot. And all you do, it comes with a SIM card. You activate the SIM card, you stick the SIM card in, you open up a web browser, you punch in the router's web address, they show you what it is, the 198.162, whatever it is, and then you just go in and just make sure if there's any settings on it you want to do. So I tested that, and the reason why I tested that is that thing is 99 bucks and it works great. I had a T-Mobile data only card for my security camera and it wouldn't work with that. And I realized because it needs a actual hotspot card that actually gets web. So that thing, I fired it up, works like that, and it's a 50-meter radius that that thing puts out an internet, a Wi-Fi signal to. That is not a repeater. That is its own Wi-Fi signal. You got it? So you would connect directly to that. Has nothing to do with any of the Wi-Fi out here. It creates its own Wi-Fi, it's its own router, and that's a fabulous way. So if you've got your house is a quarter mile down the road and you say, oh, there's no way I can get Wi-Fi, that's your solution right there. That's your solution. It costs you 99 bucks. How much does it comes with 300 free megabytes. How much does it cost to recharge it? I don't know. Probably about 100 bucks a year is probably what you end up using, because your gate's not going to use up data that much. Something like a security camera that's actually transmitting video, that would use data, but a gate, there's really not much data going through it. So that is a fabulous little hack that I've learned, and it's cheap. Okay, so my real estate friend just came by. She picked up 3 dozen eggs, jalapenos, green peppers, and zucchini, the new zucchini. But I wanted to show you this. I had to open the gate for her. So I am 150 yards away. I'm on my Wi-Fi. That's it. So I'm actually on the internet version. So it's important to understand, hope you can see this, there are 3 buttons. There is Bluetooth, there is Wi-Fi, and there is internet. Let me explain the difference between those because I didn't know it. The Wi-Fi means that you're on the same Wi-Fi network. Does that make sense? So your gate and your phone are connected under your settings to the same Wi-Fi network. Internet means that that's on one mesh system or internet system out here, and you're in Jamaica on vacation. Then you go to internet. That's where I learned. So the front gate is showing me close. Oh, it showed me open. I can close it. I can put it in party mode, and I can go in and put it in vacation mode as well too. But I want to go over to the back gate, and since I opened it to let her out, I'm going to push close, and then you're going to see the little icon of that gate closing, and it just shows it closing and shows it closing, and I can sort of see it from here. Not really. So that gate is closing. I can hit stop, and this is where you can go in on your settings and you can do automations, tasks. You can do all kinds of different stuff on this. This is a must. If you have one of these gates, I'm telling you, having this app changes everything. It changes everything. It brings you into the year 2026 with automation. It is phenomenal. I was really, really impressed. I will tell you that when I started doing my shopping for gates, I basically was calling around to everyone and say, I need a gate opener that will open at 6 a.m. and close at 9 p.m. And nobody said, no, sorry, you have to have a third-party timer on it. Even Ghost Control, I had actually called Ghost Control, and they didn't mention the app. And it's like, dude, I mean, it's so simple, and it's so nice with this app to be able to control everything. Now, that's one of the reasons why. Okay, so you probably saw a minute ago, maybe, you know, the little keypad. So when you pull up to a gate, you have a keypad there. I don't want a keypad outside my gate. And let me explain why. Because all my family members will have a copy of this app, number one. Some of them will even have one of the garage door little clicker things. But I don't necessarily want all my neighbors knowing my code. And let me explain. I love my neighbors. They're great. But every so often they have a tendency just to drop by and do something, and I might be out here hunting, and I don't want them here. So when I close my gates, I don't want anyone to be able to come in through my gate unless I open it. Does that make sense? You start handing out codes, and I'm telling you, all of a sudden, you know, at 9 o'clock at night, your gate opens, and you're like, who's coming down my driveway? I do not want to use that punch pad. That's why if someone comes over to my house, let's say I have a guest come over or whatever, they can just text me and say, hey, I'm at the gate, and I can go ahead and push open and open the gate for them. That's no problem. We leave the gate open for deliveries, so I don't have to have it. So it opens at 6 a.m. and closes at 8:15 p.m. If there's a delivery after 8:15 p.m. or I do it, that's really dark right now, they can leave it at the gate and I'll go pick it up. So anyways, that app makes all the difference in the world. So as you can see, I have a long driveway. It's 900 feet, then it hits a curve and goes to the house. But this is my front gate. Let me go over a couple things real quick. Number one, I don't consider gates sort of physical security. It's more of a deterrent. If this gate is closed, you just walk around it or climb over it or drive through it with a truck. Now they do make a zombie lock. Now the zombie lock installs over here and it latches onto that side so no one can pull your pin and push the gate open. If you have a residence, I really don't recommend that. And the reason being is, if there's ever an emergency, if there's ever a fire, if you ever need an ambulance and you got a zombie lock on there, no one's getting through there really. Emergency crews can get through there by pulling pins and opening up your gate. The other thing is, obviously, if you have a property where you're not living there and you're concerned about someone actually opening the gate that way, then a zombie lock would work, like you just have a rural property somewhere, a hunting piece of hunting property. So again, on this one, I don't have the keypad. I initially put a post in here and was going to put the keypad here. I'm not going to do a keypad. I put it here where people can't see it. And the only reason I have it there is if I'm up here without a clicker, really the only way to open your gate is to enter that code in there. Now, I have a security camera over here and I can see what's going on at the fence. Now, let me go ahead and show you this. Okay, so here's the 4x4 post. You don't want to mount this box on your post because it'll crunch it. When it closes, you'll go crunch. So you want to put in a separate post over here. Next, you can see temporarily I need to bury some wires, but I just took a 1x4 and extended that Smart Connect way up in the air so it can talk to that extended and it works perfect. What else? Here's the battery box. This battery box, I'll show you here in a video. I got it on a video. It's 15 bucks and I have a big 50 amp hour battery inside that. And that battery will last forever. I just put a simple lock on here. If someone wants to get in here, I don't want to make it too hard for them. It wouldn't be that expensive to order another one if they wanted to steal this for some reason. All right, so let me just take this off and let me show you a couple notes here. Okay, when you're installing this, it's very simple. You just you unscrew this, you run your wire up, and it says the colors on here. It says the colors red, black, green, and white. You install it, screw it in there. What else? This is for your Smart Connect, and then this is your power cable. So the power goes up through here, comes around, you just plug it in here. Now let me make a suggestion. They tell you to hook up the power wires first, and after you get all done with that, then they want you to disconnect the power wires and put a rubber grommet and run the Smart Connect cable through here. Do that while you're the first time. So take off this piece right here, put the grommet that comes with the Smart Connect system here, and run them both through the first time. Just don't plug this in yet, and then connect your power cables. That'll just save you time from having to unplug your power cables and undo all that. So do that first. Let's look at this little thing right here. These are your dip switches. It comes default set. Everything should be good for default, except for one, which is the beep, beep, beep. So you want to flip that one. I think it's it says warning on it. I think it's number 3. That it's by default it's on. You want to shut it off. My gate is programmed so once I open it, it does not have an auto close. You can auto close it, and you can set the time for the auto close. So if you want it 30 seconds or 60 seconds or whatever, there's a way to set it. So it's important to remember, here's another little tip for you. When you mount this bracket, make sure that you have these arms on it, then mark it and then drill it. But I will say one thing, I'll show you, make sure you have a driver for a drill, because that'll save you 30 minutes then rather than using a wrench. Just get a nut driver. I'll show you. I've got one over here. I'll show you. You connect this, and the first thing you do is you hit your button. When you connect your power, you want this arm to come out a little bit and then go all the way back in, because once it's all the way back in, that'll be your close position. And when you mark this, my set did not come with the gate loops, and I'm glad it didn't, because it came with this bracket right here, and I drilled that in, and that is just locked in solid. That is locked in solid there. But you want to put this on in the closed position, wherever you want it. That will be your closed position. Then all you have to do to set your closed position is you just hold the jog button, jog close, and once you have it set, hold down the set button, it'll beep, and it's set for your close. The one mistake I made is I forgot to hold the set button, and it kept over closing. There is a little Wi-Fi antenna here. Excuse me, not a little Wi-Fi. That's just the antenna for your close. Let's cover the exit sensor. I don't know why people would get the hardwire version. It doesn't make sense. The wireless and the hardwire are about the same price. It doesn't make sense to me. Why on earth? So what you would have to do is you'd have to trench a line all the way down here, bury that thing, and then cover it back up. With the wireless version, you're gonna laugh at this. I literally just threw it on the ground. This is it here. And then I just stuck it in a tree to test it. And it works great. So if my gate's closed, someone drives up, when they hit this point, it'll sense the vehicle. It senses big metal things. It'll sense the vehicle, and that gate will automatically open and let them out. I do not have one on my back gate, simply because we're up there, people driving up there for the dumpster and trash, and I don't want it constantly open. So with this unit, basically I just have to dig that in, dig that wire in, and then mount that thing somewhere. I'll probably end up leaving it like that. It works, but I don't know why you would get the hardwire one. It doesn't make sense. No sense to me. When you got that little thing, it's just simple to install. So I'm going to go into ghost control. That's the back gate. Let's go to the front gate. Now I'm going on Wi-Fi. The only problem is I'm going to have to go via phone. Okay, I only have 1 bar of 5G, so I'm going to close this. If I want to stop it, I can stop it on my phone. And you'll see that it'll stop right at that post. So it stopped right at that post. Now I want to show you, I can close if I want, but let me show you how this sensor works over here. See if I got a 5-pound mallet that'll set it off. And the gate's opening. So yes, I actually tried it with my UTV, and it did open with the UTV. Now for this one, my solar panel is out by the road, and I have to bury this cable. I'll link to this wire. You can get a big roll of this underground, I think it's like 212 wire. It's a low voltage underground for like lighting, for landscape lighting, because it's only a solar panel. There's not many volts or amps in it. You can see that black wire. We need to bury this. And the only reason I'm burying it is because mice will chew on this. And then this is the total sunny spot, and you can see there's my solar panel. Now with these solar panels, the ones, if you get these are the ones that are on that charger system. It's actually a battery trickle charger. You'll need to get one of these poles. I got these from Lowe's. I'll actually link to that, and you can see how it sort of links up here. And you can change. I always recommend, do not have your solar panel like this. Keep it down, way down, and simply because you don't need a whole bunch of solar power to charge that battery. And if you keep it way down, the rain will wash it off. If you keep it up, you get more bird crap and leaves and everything else on it. So keep it at a pretty steep angle facing south, as close to south as you can. The biggest tool that'll make this thing easy for you is, let me see if I can find the set here. Here you go. I'll try and link to this. This right here, socket adapter. This goes into your drill. So if you have a regular drill, or if you have sort of an impact driver, man, let me tell you what, a pair of vice grips and that is absolutely needed, because these nuts that they use on the end are those plastic locking nuts. They have the metal and the plastic inside. And you lock your vice grip on, and you just hammer that thing down, hammer that thing down. It actually squeezed that round fence and made that round fence sort of flat. That's how strong you can use these things with. But it saved me a ton of time sitting here with wrenches trying to do that thing. It saved me half an hour, because you have to use it on the post mount and you have to use it on the fence post. Now, I just got a regular drill. I was surprised. These fences, if you have a farm gate like this, they drill really easily with just a standard drill. So, but just make sure you put this bracket on when you're fully closed. And let me show you, I have some video of this, but when it was in the fully closed position, what I did was I came up here and I marked the edges here, and here, because you can't get a pen in there to mark that. And so once I got that, then I undid this bracket, and then I took the bracket only and marked it there and drilled it, and it worked out perfect. Of course, you put your pins on and you're pretty much all set. If you want to lubricate this, one thing that's really important with things like this is not to use a heavy oil or grease or something like that, because you're going to have dirt accumulate on it. This is WD-40 dry lube. This is a lubricant, but when you spray it, when you spray this, it'll basically dry within a few minutes, and it leaves a lubricated surface, but it's not wet, so it doesn't pick up dust and sawdust and everything else. You use that on skill saws, chainsaws. You even use it on guns, on the interior mechanisms of guns, on the slides, because you won't be picking up that powder. It's a great product. And so if you're going to use something like, you want to use something that's not going to grab, you know, a bunch of junk on there. This fall weather is great. Let me summarize for you in case I missed something. Number one, I will have a page built with all these different items on there that you can go through, pick and choose, and make your combination. If I forget to link to something, please let me know. Number two, have the right tools. I forgot to mention that if you're going to drill through these 6x6 posts, if you're going to drill through them, some people use lag bolts. I actually prefer the bolts. Make sure you have a long drill bit. I think it's 3/8. Don't quote me on that, but you need a long drill bit to drill through the 6x6 posts. Get a nut driver. In other words, you have a ratchet set, get the driver adapter for your drill. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. Make sure you have a good permanent marker, because you will be marking the posts and you will be marking that gate attachment. Again, most of the time when you order it, it will come with that tubular sort of grasp clip. Mine came with the actual install for a flat post, which I actually prefer. So maybe you can see if you can probably order all these little accessories separately too. I would definitely, what changed this whole thing for me and made this so amazing and so great was the integration, oh my God. Melting into this whole thing was Wi-Fi system. The Wi-Fi system and the automation on your phone app completely changes this whole thing. I can sit up here. I'll give you an example. It's Tuesday morning. It is 7:48. Normally I have to set a reminder for myself on my phone to open the back gate. I don't have to do that. I got an alert on my phone that says your gate is opening in 5 minutes. The back gate open, my trash guy now has access to that, and it's all set. When I hear that dumpster truck beep, 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 once he's gone, I can close that back gate on my phone. Same thing. I don't give out my codes to people. If I want someone to come in, I'm going to use my phone app. They'll text me, hey, I'm here to pick up eggs or whatever. I'll open up the gate. I'm not going to be handing out my codes. I don't care how nice these people are. Learn to understand that you don't want to be handing out codes. Now, if someone wants to get through that gate, they can just climb over it, or they can just walk around it. So understand, I'm not saying that this is a hardcore physical level of security. It's not. It's just the fact that in the middle of the night, someone can't pull into my driveway and then come down my driveway. They have to, if they want to come down here, they got to let me know about it, or they got to drive through that gate. So, and I have cameras, so I'll know they're coming. I hope this helped. I know it was a long video, but I want to go over all this stuff that had been going through my mind for months and questions that I had that weren't answered and how I did it. Doc.